Good day, Flagler County, and welcome to Veterans on Point, a WNCF radio show developed in mind for our county's beloved and respected veterans population and anyone else listening via internet or podcast. I'm your host, David Lydon, the Flagler County Veteran Services Officer, and I am not here with my friend and colleague at the office, Eric Flores, as he's off today, but I'm here with my guest host, Jeff Kingdon, you all know as our Marine who does the woodworking and has done all kinds of plaques, even for WNZF, wherever it is. So you'll see these plaques all over the county, thanking veterans for their service, thanking first responders and nurses and doctors and local establishments that cater to veterans. So, Jeff, thank you for being here as well.
Good morning, David. Or actually, I guess I'm supposed to say good day now, aren't I?
Yeah, because we never know when somebody's going to be listening or watching. So change it to good day. But you might see if you're a viewer, you might see that we have a guest in the studio today, and that is Major General Wilfred Hessert, United States Air Force retired. And good morning, General.
Good morning, David and Jeff. Glad to be here.
Good morning.
And we will hear more from the General in the second half of the show. We'll do his bio, and then we'll talk about some wellness. And the General teaches Tai Chi, and so we'll kind of talk about that too. And since this show will be airing after Thanksgiving, and you might have some extra pounds, maybe some of this wellness will will help you take that off. So, all right. So, got to remind you that we are Flagler County Veteran Services. Eric and I we're at 1769 East Moody Boulevard in Bunnell. Our phone number is 386-313-4014. We're there to help veterans and their families navigate the onerous and complex VA claim system to help you get the benefits that you earned or your spouse deserves. So thank you for listening, and please give us a call if you need an appointment. Appointments are appreciated. That way we can dedicate the appropriate time for your situation. All right, so Massage by Natalie. We've like to talk about Massage by Natalie and Company because they are sponsors of the podcast here on WNZF. And so they are located at 4871 Palm Coast Parkway Northwest, suite number 1 in Palm Coast. Phone number 386-227-7499. And I don't know if after Thanksgiving you'll need a massage, but I guess the massage is good at any time. You don't need an excuse. So, Massage by Natalie and Company might be a good, Christmas gift for somebody, a gift certificate or something.
That's a good idea.
All right. So, our League of Loyal listeners, and we're going. Billy Jones, United States Army retired, is the chief and leader of the League of Loyal listeners. And so, Billy, thanks for always being out there and give me feedback on the program. But we have a sad moment to talk about on one of our League of Loyal listeners, and that is Master Chief Petty Officer Dan Cairns, recently passed away this past week. And he was one of our League of Loyal listeners, and he was he's a former Palm Coast Veteran of the Week, was in the Palm Coast Observer back last year or so. I'm going to read his obituary. Master Chief Petty Officer Daniel James Cairns, United States Navy retired, 82 years old, of Palm Coast, Florida. Passed away peacefully on November 22nd, 2025 at San Cyr at Palm Coast, surrounded by the love of his family. He was born December 7th, 1942, 1 year after Pearl Harbor. In Sharon, Pennsylvania, he was the son of Daniel and Mary Cairns. After graduating from Ursuline High School, Dan attended Youngstown State University before he answered the call of duty and enlisted in the United States Navy, a decision that shaped the next 3 decades of his life. Throughout his 30 years of dedicated service, he was stationed across the United States and earned the respect of all who served alongside him. A highly decorated veteran, Master Chief Cairns was the recipient of numerous commendations, including the Navy Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Navy Achievement Medal with 3 gold stars, Meritorious Unit Commendation Medal with 3 bronze stars, and many more decorations, including those Vietnam Cross of Gallantry ribbon and Vietnam campaign ribbon, as he was a veteran of the Vietnam War. Following his retirement, Dan and his wife settled in Palm Coast, where he embraced the joy of home and community. Known for his meticulous yard work and warm personality, he became the unofficial mayor of Pinecrest Lane, always eager for a friendly conversation with neighbors. He was a devoted fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers and found his greatest happiness in the company of his family, especially his beloved grandchildren. Dan loved his country, cherished his family, and had a gift for connecting with people that made every room brighter. He leaves behind his loving wife of 50 years, Kay Cairns, whom he married in 1975. They had 3 children, Conrad Cairns, Kathleen, and Daniel, and 4 treasured grandchildren, Benjamin, Emily, Samuel, and Annabelle. He is also survived by 5 siblings, Bill of Aurora, Ohio, Kay of Hermitage, Pennsylvania, Mary Lynn of North Canton, Ohio, and Susie of Hermitage, Pennsylvania, and Ginny of Trafford, Pennsylvania, as well as 1 sister-in-law, Lori Cairns of Carolina Shores, North Carolina. Many nieces and nephews who loved him deeply. In addition to his parents, Dan was preceded in death by his sister Peggy Elliott and 2 brothers, James and Michael Cairns. Family and friends will be received Thursday, December 4th, from 3 to 6 p.m. at Craig Flagler Palms Funeral Home, which is at 511 Old Kings Road South, Flagler Beach. A funeral mass will be celebrated on Friday, December 5th at 11 a.m. at the St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic Church at 4600 Belterre Parkway, Palm Coast. Full military honors will follow the mass in recognition of his distinguished service, and his interment will take place at the Jacksonville VA National Cemetery. So, Master Chief Daniel James Cairns, thank you for your service. God bless you. God bless your family, and they're in our thoughts and our prayers. And he was a fun guy, and we knew him began to know him through the office. He would visit us, him and Kay, and then we just started going to Culver's or having hamburger with Cheeseburger Friday up at San Cyr with him and Kay. So we're going to miss you, Dan. And Kay, we'll be checking on you soon.
Thank you for serving our country, Master Chief Dan.
Absolutely. Yep. Nice that you got to go up and see him up there. That's very thoughtful.
Yes, we do. Like I said, we pick up a bag of hamburgers at Culver's and go up and sit. Jeff would go, Eric from my office, we'd go up to San Cyr and have hamburgers with him and his wife.
Probably made his day.
It did.
Cheeseburger Friday.
So that takes us to the point of the program where I say, drivers, the DAV is seeking volunteer drivers to take veterans from their homes to their VA appointments. You do not need to use your own vehicle because the DAV has VA vehicles for that purpose. You do need to be insurable. You do need to have a driver's license, of course, and you do need to have a background check. So if you'd like to find out how you can help volunteer to take veterans to their VA appointments, that could be a medical center appointment, a VA clinic appointment. It could also be a community care network appointment set up by the VA, or it can be your compensation and pension appointment for service-connected disability claims. The DAV Chapter 86, their phone number is 386-439-2122. You can use that number to find out how to take advantage of the transportation or how to become a volunteer. So please give the DAV Chapter 86 a call, 386-439-2122. And, okay, some meetings and events. Wreaths Across America is going to be on December 13th, all across America. How do you like that? Wreaths Across America. But there's going to be a couple right here in Palm Coast, too, at the Craig Flagler Palm Cemetery at noontime. That's on Old Kings Road. And then the American Legion sponsors a Wreath Across America at the, I can't think of the name. It's escaping me. But they do one at the Masonic Cemetery. And before they do one out on County Route 13 starts with an E. It's a private cemetery. Espanola.
Espanola.
At the Espanola Cemetery. There's about 200 veterans, a little bit more than 200 veterans that are buried out there. And so they do the Wreaths Across America there at noon. The Masonic Cemetery at 2. So if you haven't donated, you can donate to Wreaths Across America on their website. Or if you'd like to come out and be part of the ceremony and put the wreaths on the graves, then you can do that too. So look for that on your on the American Legion website, post 115 for Flagler County. And you can probably Google and find the one at Craig Flagler Palms. All right, do you have anything for us, Jeff, as far as what's going on with the local service organization?
I do have a couple things, Dave. The VFW Post 8696. Monday is Guitars for Vets. And Monday is also Men's Happy Hour from 5 to 7 p.m.
At the VFW.
At the VFW, yes. And at the VFW on Tuesdays, there's Taco Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And there's also Queen of Hearts on Tuesday. Wednesday is Wednesday Wings from 11 to 2. Thursday is Bingo. The doors open at 3:30 and bingo starts at 5:30.
And I'm guessing that's pretty popular.
Very popular.
It's very popular, yes. And of course, don't forget Friday is Red Shirt Friday, where we recognize those on active duty overseas.
All right, thanks, Jeff. And I forgot to get all through my list of the legal loyal listeners, but Charlie Hanger's on the list, and Talking Tom, and Dennis Bird, and of course the Frankie Senior, Frankie Junior, James DeMille Maid, Bicycle Frank. But speaking of Charlie, Bicycle, I don't know if you ever seen Bicycle Frank.
I don't. It sounds entertaining.
And so he's a Navy vet. But Charlie Hanger left a message that the Queen of Hearts, that's a thing they do at the VFW. It's a fundraiser. But the Queen of Hearts, the pot is up to $15,380.
Wow.
With 8 cards left, and so the Queen still lives, as he says. So again, Jeff said it's Tuesdays when they hold that drawing. So if you're can get to the VFW by 7 o'clock on Tuesdays, you can take part in that. So again, $15,380 is the pot.
The last draw was over $70,000
Last year.
last year.
Last year,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Bit down from last year, but still, go help the VFW.
Yeah.
And the proceeds of that go to what?
For the proceeds go to helping the VFW with their local veterans. If veterans have that need to pay utility bills,
nice.
or they're behind a mortgage or rent payments, stuff like that.
That's very nice.
Yes, sir. All right, so that takes us to the part of our program where we want to talk to Major General Hessert about whatever he wants to talk about. But let me just give a bit of a bio. And United States Air Force, 1965 to 2000, because he was in the Army before that. So he began his military career by enlisting in the U.S. Army in 1960. He served 3 years active duty with the Army before enlisting in the Maine Air National Guard. He received a direct commission in 1965. He assumed command of the 101st Consolidated Aircraft Maintenance Squadron in 1979 and served as Deputy Commander for Maintenance, Deputy Commander for Operations, Vice Wing Commander, and then Wing Commander of the 101st Air Refueling Wing, Maine Air National Guard. In 1996, he was selected to be the Air National Guard Assistant to the Commander, U.S. Air Forces in Europe. When he retired in 2000, he was the Reserve Policy Board and Military Advisor to the Board's Chairman, Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness. Hessert accumulated over 5,000 hours in multiple airframes during his career, the KC-135AE, the F-101B/F, the T-33, the F-102, the F-189, and the C-54. He is a veteran of Operations Desert Shield, Desert Storm, having flown refueling missions in support of combat operations. Hessert and his wife Marion of It's got to be 63 years now.
It is. Yep.
63 years. Invested in Palm Coast property in 1998. Moved here shortly after his retirement from the Air Force. And to stay active, Hessard is active in, even though you don't live in Grand Haven anymore, you still do things over there, I know,
I do.
right?
I teach. Yeah.
And organizing veteran ceremonies, teaching Tai Chi, among other activities. So that's what we want to talk about, those activities which keep you busy in retired life.
I hope my wife was listening to that. Sounded pretty good.
Well, we'll make sure she gets a copy. Well, welcome to the show, sir.
Well, thank you much, David, and special thanks for all the things that you do for our veterans, and particularly in my personal experience. I doubt if I would have gotten as far as I did without your tutelage and your hard work, and it's very much appreciated. I went to David because I had spent 2 years before being the military advisor to the Reserve Forces Policy Board as the Deputy Inspector General, then Inspector General of the United States Air Force. And we handled everything from complaints to criminal investigations and some stuff that even today I'm not supposed to talk about. But the interesting part about that is that we did deal with the VA Inspector General and tried to help on cases that affected both Air Force personnel that were in the VA system, and they were always adjudicated very, very well. I didn't use your services because I felt that other people needed it more than I did when I retired. That was probably a mistake, to be quite honestly.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, in 2023, I came down with a very rare cancer that only occurs for people who have participated in aerial flight above 30,000 feet. And as David pointed out, I have about 6,000 hours of flying time, actually, and half of that above 30,000 feet. So there's less than 500 cases of cancer a year for this cancer, and there's no chemo for it. Your only hope for survival is radiation and resection. I've had 3 surgeries. Fortunately, I beat the odds. I'm still here, and thanks to David, who has overseen my journey through the VA bureaucratic system, which is really quite entertaining.
That's a nice way to put it.
I'm in getting some really good support now. And for those of you who may not have been down to the clinic down in Daytona, it's the place is absolutely incredible in the way that they reach out to take care of people. One of my jobs in the Air Force was oversight of all the medical operations of the Air Force, some 62 hospitals and clinics, and I have to say that the clinic down at Daytona is really first rate.
Well, thanks for thanks for saying that, because there's over the years the VA's gotten a negative stain on it, but I just don't think it's warranted, especially here in Florida. I can't speak for the entire country, but all the veterans that come through my office, 99.9% of them love their VA health care. Of course, there's always a small percentage that grouse, but
Well, the load on the folks down there is quite remarkable. I decided to go there for hearing support, among other things, and the timeline of waiting was like 5 months. I mean, that's a long time. But the reality is that once you get in and got the examination, the other 5 months you had to wait, the bloody hearing aids came in within about 4 days. Huh. And I happened to go down just on another thing, and the doctor saw me, asked me to come in, said, I've got a break in my schedule, and I'd love to take care of you. Come on in. She took care of all the stuff. And so I went home with 2 pair of hearing aids, and I have had purchased out of my own pocket 3 sets in the past, and none of them were as good as the ones that were provided by the VA. The service was just absolutely amazing.
Right. And so if you ever run into that 5 months again, you're eligible for the community care network.
Ah.
They can get you into a local audiologist before that. I'm actually going through that myself right now. They wanted to put me out. I just went in this November for an appointment for follow-up on hearing, and they said March, and I said, well, under the law, the community care network, you can send me out to the community. So they're in the process of doing that, and I should get an appointment well before March. So keep that in mind, sir.
That's good to know. I didn't know that. And I will share one other thought on the medications thing. One of my medications cost $153 for a 90-day supply. I had spoken to one of the personnel down at the VA, and to my surprise, about 2 weeks later, it showed up in my mailbox. $153 here, $153 there. And pretty soon, you've got enough money to maybe take the wife out to dinner. Who knows? I would like to say a little bit about Tai Chi and Qigong. I had some health problems after retirement. I didn't like the prognosis, and I decided that I was too young to be looking up at daisies, and I looked around for an alternative way to take care of myself, and I discovered a Tai Chi program here in Palm Coast, and I joined it. And within about 2 months, all of my symptoms disappeared.
Wow.
Tai Chi is a martial art. The roots of it are kind of lost in history. Some say a monk, Taoist monk called Chen Sang Feng, in around 1200 AD, was meditating on a mountain in China and saw a fight between a bird and a snake. And he wrote down the different things they did, and from that, martial art came about. But the real root probably occurred in around 1653, and a gentleman named Chen over in Henan province in China, who was a military guy, built this form of moves, and both the offensive and defensive, and it became known as the Chen style of Tai Chi. It spread. His servant, after being there for 10 years, went out, modified it. His name was Yang. And today there are really 5 styles of that martial art: Chen Yang, Sun Wu, and Sun Wu. The most popular in the world is Yang, which is what I teach. It comes in different sets of postures. You can do 14, 24, 36, 64, or 108. I teach a 64 form. But it's no longer taught as a martial art for the most part. It's taught as a moving meditation for health. And so the idea is a mind-body integration and a total form of relaxation to make sure that your breath moves with your postures and you relax, relax, relax. It's interesting because once you start through that process, you lose a lot of the stress and anxiety that you're bound with, or whether it's PTSD or just the things in life. However, the most important thing that I teach is a discipline called Qigong. Qi is the life energy of your body. Gong means any work that gives you a good result. It's 7,000 years old. There are over 1,000 forms. I'm certified to teach 36. It is the real way to improve your mobility, your flexibility, and your balance. You don't get down on the floor. You can wear normal clothes, street clothing. The whole process is designed to make you relax, 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 and improve your mobility, flexibility, and balance by gently, isometrically working all the tendons, ligaments in your body. Really a great form to help you.
And that's ideal for the large population that we have in Palm Coast. As people get older, we have people coming through our office all the time. We hear about falls. So if you improve your balance and your posture, you're less apt to fall and get hurt, because that's really what takes.
The very first module, and I teach, we have a set of 5 different modules, and then it just opens up, and there are over 1,000 forms. But the very first module is balance. And we teach people where the center of balance is. We teach them about the vestibular system, the autolus system. But most importantly, we told them where the center of balance is. The center of gravity happens to be 3 fingers below your navel, a third away to your spine, and how to move so that when you do get up out of a chair, or if you're going to just take a step or walking, how to do things so you won't fall. The improvement of balance of the people who go into this program is astounding.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that's really great about this discipline, you should always leave a class refreshed and relaxed. And I can't tell you how many letters I get and notes I get from folks in the program that say, this has been the best thing that's ever happened to me. And by the way, My oldest student is 92 years old.
Where do you teach?
I used to teach in Grand Haven. I do go in and cover up there, but I teach at Hammock Beach at the resort. I started teaching in the Holland Park in Palm Coast, but we got so big we had to find other venues.
And how long is a typical session?
An hour.
Hour.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've gotten the signal. We're under the 2-minute warning, so that was great information. Are you have openings, or you have contact information you want to share?
I don't anymore, but some of my students who are now teachers do. I've been teaching for 20 years. Lee Wilmans has a studio on Florida Park Drive. There are other venues in Palm Coast. I think the Island Doctors has a program. The city of Palm Coast had one. Unfortunately, the gentleman passed away. I'm not sure if they're still doing it.
And I hear the the DAV's got one. It's Tai Chi by Lee. That's
Lee Woman.
okay.
Yeah, she used to be my student, and
Okay.
then was my teacher. She's fabulous. And by the way, she's currently in Croatia, and she's finishing up a 7-year program to be a doctor of Oriental medicine.
Wow.
Very good. So
That's on Thursdays at the DAV.
Thursdays. All right.
Yes.
Well, General, thank you for that information. Thank you for being here. All very interesting. And,
Thank you, David. I appreciate it.
I don't work for the VA, but I do appreciate you pointing out that the VA is. I mean, they've treated me pretty well too. And you go to the local hospitals if you can run into not being happy as well. So just be open-minded about the VA. And just to remind you, you don't have to change. If you can go in the VA, you don't have to change your TRICARE. You don't have to change your Medicare. You can still keep your outside doctors.
Good point.
And then use the VA as well.
A blessing of Palm Coast, Florida. We moved here, there were 17,800 people. I think there are about 110,000 now. But we have great medical support. We have a fabulous VA officer who takes care of us. And this is probably one of the nicest places in the world that you could find to retire and live.
If you're lucky enough to live in Flagler County, you're lucky enough.
Here, here.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for listening. Jeff, any final comments?
Justice, would like to present this to you, General. It's thank you for serving our country, and it's from the League of Loyal Listeners.
Oh, that's great, Jeff. How thoughtful.
Couple things about it. It has red, white, and blue on it. And it has these gray things, the dog tags.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you're around a Marine, you're always safe. And as soon as I saw Jeff, I knew I was in good company.
So there you go. All right, folks. Well, have a great week, and we'll be back with you next Sunday. And catch us on YouTube. Thanks again, General.
Thank you, David.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.